Hey, so I have some notes I'm going to refer to. Okay, so Maxine Waters stated that Russia had invaded Korea. Okay, she probably meant Crimea. Clearly a flub, but there was next to no coverage of it at all. Okay, I saw it on online media. I didn't see it on CNN. I didn't see anyone call it out on Fox News. Maybe they did on Fox News. I don't know. The point is, when you look up that incident, you only see it on alternative media. Pretty big flub for a politician to make. But who cares? It's a flub. I don't care. Nancy Pelosi has a Gary Johnson moment and can't remember the name of Aleppo. She's talking about Syria and she can't remember the name Aleppo. It sort of begs the question, how important is this issue you're talking about if you can't remember the name of the city? Anyway, she's an older woman. She's not perfect. I don't expect her to be. I don't expect anyone to be perfect, least of all politicians. But anyway, she then at one point, I don't know if it was the same conference, but at some point she says that she starts citing a faked tweet from a fake Twitter account that she thought was Mike Flynn's and attacks Mike Flynn for it. Not aware that there's such a thing as a fake Twitter account. Again, she's a moron. She's not media savvy. She's like, what, 1 million years old? I don't know. Anyway, I don't expect politicians to be perfect. I don't. They make mistakes like everybody else, right? It's it makes me laugh. I get to laugh at them. I get to feel superior as though I've never misspoken in my life either, right? And that's where it should end. So now Saturday, at a rally in Florida, Trump makes reference to a report he saw the Friday night on, I think it was Tucker Carlson Tonight, regarding rising migrant crime in Sweden. And he clumsily uses the phrase, last night in Sweden. And he went on to talk about, the terrible things that are happening in Sweden. And if you don't know, Sweden's it's a basket case at this point. It's insane what's going on there. And I mentioned that before in several videos. But people jump on him. They start accusing him of confusing Sweden with Pakistan, because I guess around the same time there was an attack in Pakistan. Big fucking surprise. But they hammer him and they won't let him go. Now I get it. He's at a higher station. He's the president. But they're holding him to a higher standard than they would hold anybody else. And this is where the hypocrisy is. This is where the tribalism sets in. It took that, I don't know his name, the lisping bald-headed Muppet on CNN to set the record straight. To say, hey, he was probably referencing this Tucker Carlson report when he was speaking about Sweden that he saw the previous night. Makes sense. When my friend told me about it today, did you hear he said there was a terrorist attack in Sweden when he meant Pakistan? This is what my friends told me. I didn't hear anything about this until she mentioned it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's probably just referencing, the trouble that's going on in Sweden. She says, no, he said it was a terrorist attack. So this message has been spun out there. This fake news has been put out there that Trump said there was a terrorist attack in Sweden when he never used the term terrorist attack. And the media just ran with it, right? And this is the point. And my friend even said this, she wants to hold Trump to this standard of, he needs to say things that are correct and true all the time. As though Obama did that. As though Obama never lied, misspoke, said the wrong thing. But I'm more pragmatic about it, I guess. I don't expect anyone to be perfect, least of all Trump. I mean, from the time this thing began, and I've mentioned this before too, he ran as this inarticulate, plain-talking sort of goofball. And it's one of the characteristics, it's one of the personality traits that got him elected. People are tired of hearing politicians after having 8 years of Barack Obama, this polished speaker, this guy who made good speeches and came off very charismatic whenever he spoke. they're tired of it. The people who elected Trump are tired of the politician doublespeak and fancy language and people being articulate. I know that sounds silly. And I know people will say, "Oh, that's because they're low information voters or what have you." No, people are savvy. They know when someone's bullshitting them, and I think what they hear in Trump is that he's plain talking and he sounds more genuine because he makes flubs. If flubs that, again, people are holding him to this standard that they would never hold any of their own people on their own camp to. So it's the height of hypocrisy. And I guess, again, you'll call me a Trump apologist. Fine, whatever, I'm a Trump apologist. Because I see what's happening to the guy, and I'm like, look, did any of you ever think he was going to change? Do you think it would do him well to change? My wife says the same thing. She's like, well, I just don't like the way he speaks. I'm like, it's what got him elected. The way he speaks is what got him elected. And if he all of a sudden changed, he would lose the support. If for whatever reason he went to a speech coach and he started, using proper grammar in everything he said, not using sentence fragments, not repeating the same thing over and over again, he would lose support. And it wouldn't satisfy his opponents. As a matter of fact, they would accuse him of pandering and whatnot. He needs to remain consistent. I said in a piece I wrote on Allthink that, he should really do something about his hair. I said, wait till after the election because, the myth of Samson and whatnot. Don't do anything with your hair until after the election. If you win, then get a haircut. But you know what? Again, I don't think it would do him well to change who he is. I think he needs to stay exactly who he is. Has he been perfect? Absolutely not. I would never, ever admit to that. But the fact is that the people on the other side are holding him to a standard that they would never hold their own leaders, their own politicians. And it's funny. I'm the only Trump supporter, Trump apologist in my group of friends, and I have to sit here and listen to the talk about them, railing on him. And I listen to it, and I realize that it's a coping mechanism for him. It's this, how they deal with the impotence of their position at this point, and it's almost a spastic thing when you look on the mainstream media. They chomp at the bit at every little kernel, every little thing that they think is going to bring down this president. They think they're going to be able to bring him down because of the firing of Mike Flynn. This is a big deal. It's a scandal. It's the biggest scandal. Some of the hyperbolic language is just ludicrous that's coming out of people in the mainstream media, and they're doing themselves a disservice. They're making themselves look even less credible than they already do, and they're fulfilling the prophecy of their own demise, and they don't see it. I don't understand how people can just what's the phrase? People should know when they're conquered. They're conquered. The left is conquered. Mainstream media is conquered. I've said it before. But what strikes me as the most amusing thing is that, and I can't claim credit for this, but for a year and a half, 2 years, the media and everybody refused to take Trump seriously. And now that he's won, now that he's the president, they want to take him literally at everything he says. So when he flubs, the truth of what he said isn't important. The fact that he misspoke, but I don't. This isn't anything new. I remember when Dan Quayle was vice president to George Herbert Walker Bush, and I remember that Dan Quayle. I don't know that he's an idiot, but he seems like it. You know what I mean? He seemed like, the whole walk like a duck, talk like a duck. But again, I don't hold him to be perfect. But when you make spelling errors, like spelling potato with an E, it shows that maybe you aren't the cream of the crop. But again, people, they jumped all over that and they laughed about it and they made him out to be this incredible buffoon And, you know, he is a buffoon. He was a buffoon. Dan Quayle. He was a joke that wrote itself. But once again, I don't hold anyone to be perfect. I don't expect anyone to be perfect. And this is a mindset that is particular on the left and not so much on the right. The left, and my friend, again, said this today, she wants the elite to be running the country. She wants elitists to be making the decisions for the rest of the country. And I'm like, that's the worst possible scenario. That's not what the people voted for. They want somebody who can empathize and sympathize with them. And while Trump is by no means an everyman, he appeals to them as an everyman. He seems like a success by his own merits. He doesn't seem like an elitist snob who had the benefit of the best education. Even if he is, he doesn't come off that way. Even if it's not genuine, it looks genuine. And it's what they wanted. And that's why he won. This same friend, of course, you know, cited the popular vote, of course. So, again, yeah, Hillary got the most yards. I bet the Atlanta Falcons got the most yards too. But anyway, different matter altogether. But, you know, Trump's not going to be an Obama-esque or Clintonian public speaker. He never will be. Stop expecting him to be. And the media needs to get with that fact. And I think, you know, like I said, that lisping Muppet, bald-headed Muppet on CNN, damn, I wish I could remember his name. No, I don't really care. He's the one who said it straight. So maybe people are starting to clue in that they can't take everything Trump says literally. They can't hold him to the standard that they didn't hold anybody else to, but that they want to. So, yeah, they better get on board and realize that this is the president they're going to have to deal with, and it must be frustrating as all hell. But that's what it's going to be. Anyway, that's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Follow me on Twitter at CraggBragg, CraggBragg. I should write that down and hold it up. My name on Twitter right now is Literally Shaking, formerly Literally Putin, formerly Literally Hitler. And I've got a Facebook page as well. It's Craig Bragg's Jimmy Wrestling Politics page. You're welcome to go there and check it out. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate all the support. Why had a video just reach 1,000 views, which to some YouTubers is probably like, 1,000 views. I get that daily. But for me, it's a pretty big deal, so I'm pretty happy. Anyway, thanks again for all the support. Talk to you later. Bye.